Day 3 with me, Russell Brand.
You are doing absolutely fine because I can see you're making a wonderful contribution to the awakening of consciousness on the planet. Yes, and you've become more political in recent times, and that's fine because even there many things are so insane that they need to be questioned, and that's fine. You don't become angry or aggressive, I've noticed, so that's a good thing. You remain conscious while you are questioning, and the mainstream media calls you conspiracy theorist, and that's a good sign that people should begin to listen to you. You must be doing something right if they call you a conspiracy theorist. We are going through a period of increasing insanity collectively. It's like an illness, collective illness, mental illness that's overtaken a significant section of humanity. Sometimes this happens. People go, not only individuals, but also collectives, they go through periods of insanity. And this is what we're moving into now, an area of great turbulence. The crisis point is also a great opportunity for moving out of the egoic state. It's been around for thousands of years and it had its function, it's fine, but coming to an end now. It's self-destructing. The ego is about to self-destruct. And so we will experience a great reset, but not in the way it's been planned by certain groups or organizations. They will be very surprised. It will be a very different reset from the one that they may be planning.
Yes, I see, Eckhart, now the significance of individual awakening and the impact that it can have on a culture, particularly as it is evident that there is a unitary force of some kind unfolding, unraveling, even as we speak, and that our individual foundation, having a foundation on the permanent rather than the impermanent, temporal and ever-shifting, will be a great asset as these transitions continue to occur.
Your function is to question many of these seemingly very unconscious or absurd things that are happening in the world, the narratives that are being created that are sometimes quite insane, but you question it without malice, without demonizing any group of people, and that's very important. Because if you see insanity manifested in certain humans or groups of humans, if you demonize them, then you become drawn into the same state of consciousness that they are in. As Nietzsche, the famous saying, I think Nietzsche said, if you gaze into the abyss for long enough, the abyss gazes back into you. or if you fight monsters, be careful that you don't turn into a monster yourself by fighting monsters. So and you are quite successful in that. So I appreciate that. My mission is somewhat different. I very rarely, or maybe never, actually question specific things that I see as a manifestation of totally irrational thinking or even insanity. It's a little bit like a good psychologist or psychiatrist, I believe, if they are with a patient who believes in some delusion, let's say they believe that they are Napoleon, a good psychiatrist or psychotherapist would not say, no, obviously you are not Napoleon, because you would immediately lose connection with that person. Nor would he say, yes, you're right, you are. That would be wrong too, to say, yes, you are Napoleon, of course you're Napoleon. No, that's wrong too. All a good psychotherapist would do is be in that state of openness, perhaps ask questions and listen. Don't deny their reality, because then they will no longer communicate with you. Even if a human being is completely deluded in some kind of mental, some kind of I totally deluded identity, for example, I would not question the identity, because then I lose contact. There's no possibility for helping to awaken into awareness out of that. So I would simply listen and ask questions, perhaps. And then there's a possibility that awareness may arise so that they're no longer trapped in dysfunctional or completely irrational thought processes, mental patterns. Then there's a possibility of awakening. But that's me, because I'm a midwife for the arising of awareness. And you are doing it in a more, not in such a direct way. You're addressing individual instances of madness, or we don't know whether it's madness, or there's always the eternal question. All the things that humans that are happening in the world now, what politicians are doing, what the media are doing, the eternal question that arises: are they evil or malevolent, or are they just very stupid? There are two theories you can have. Look at things that happened, like the whole thing, just countless examples: Iraq, invasion of Iraq, the whole story of Afghanistan. Just is there some evil plot behind it all? That's what many people believe. They say it's all been planned. They've been planning it all along. That's one way of looking at it. My way of, I would be more inclined to say, to be polite, one could say they're very unconscious, but to be more blunt, one would say they're just plain stupid. What they do makes so little sense and is so absurd. It can only be but what kind of stupid is that? Because these people, they probably all have their university degrees, I suppose. Most of these politicians and media people, they have university degrees. So it's not necessarily stupid in the sense of not intelligent enough. There's a deeper stupid than that, and that's a complete lack of wisdom. Wisdom is what we need, and wisdom arises out of awareness. Wisdom is not the improvement of, we do not arrive at wisdom through improving conceptual thinking or knowledge. More knowledge doesn't give you more wisdom. To be able to think conceptually in a better way doesn't give you more wisdom. Wisdom transcends that. Wisdom is a deeper intelligence that arises out of awareness, that can look at the totality of the situation and see what the right course of action is, rather than attack just one thing and think that's what we need to do. How we've dealt with the pandemic is an example of that. Just attacking this one thing, complete disregard of secondary consequences that may be far worse than the original problem. Economic consequences, psychological consequences, completely unawareness, lack of wisdom, complete lack of wisdom. What humanity needs desperately is wisdom, not an increase of what conventionally we call intelligence. That has its place too, but intelligence without wisdom is actually dangerous, very dangerous. It becomes destructive and self-destructive. So that's unfortunately where we are. All the weapon systems, biological warfare, and all these nuclear weapons require great intelligence to make these things. Obviously, the people who make a nuclear weapon need to be really intelligent. But where's the wisdom? The wisdom is lacking. Wisdom is a word that you don't actually hear very much these days, because people don't talk about it. But it's the one thing that will save us, and you can't separate wisdom from awareness. It arises out of awareness. So that's where we need to go. So when I say stupid, I don't mean necessarily low IQ because they might have a high IQ and still do totally stupid things and be totally identified with his egoic self, called personal ego and collective ego. So yes, I don't exclude. Obviously, there are interest groups and so on behind the scenes that try to manipulate events. No doubt that is true. But I don't believe that everything has been planned. They just don't. Jesus said on the cross, I love that saying, forgive them, for they know not what they do. They know not what they do. In other words, they are completely unconscious. They know not what they do, and that's how I see it.
Watch entire episodes on demand for free at rumble.com/Russell Brand.